You're watching Beyond Your Backyard Now with Erik the Travel Guy for Monday, April 27th, 2020.
Thank you, Erin Sega, and welcome to Beyond Your Backyard Now for April 27th. I'm Erik the Travel Guy. Thank you for joining us. I'm always very grateful that you join us on these journeys every week. As you know, we put out a new episode every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Because, well, as if we weren't busy enough with our first travel series, why not have another one? And why not launch it right in the middle of a worldwide health pandemic? Sure, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know, I'm getting a little squirrely. I think it was the whole Clorox and I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I said I wasn't going to, so I'm not going to. All I know is I've started talking to the houseplants, and they've started talking back this week. So really, this could be the last program. Of course, I hope it's not. The travel team is standing by once again. A lot of really talented folks work on this program every week, and I appreciate the work that they do. And if you've never seen this program before, Beyond Your Backyard Now really is all about where to go, what to do, where to stay, how to get the most out of your next vacation, especially for those of us that simply can't afford to get it wrong. If you've never watched before, we also do what's called the 10, 5, and 1, and I think I'm supposed to go this way to make room for that graphic. Oh, look at that nice graphic. The 10, 5, and 1, very simply put, is we cover at least 10 destinations in this episode. Every episode, we do at least 5 travel tips to help you out, some hacks, some tips, and then, of course, we leave you with a parting thought as well. So we do that every week. In addition to our question of the week, and we could throw that up there. There it is. It's pretty simple, which is, would you go to the public beach in May? A, yes, B, no, or C, wait and see. That poll is on youtube.com, on our YouTube channel, as well as beyondyourbackyardnow.com, which reminds me, everybody that participates, you've got to subscribe to the channel. But if you make a comment or ask a question, you will automatically be entered to win a $250 gift card from our good friends at restaurant.com. That's good for carryout and takeout as well. We're going to announce a winner from last week. We will do that on today's program. And speaking of which, we've got a phenomenal show lined up for you today. We're headed out to Mount Kilimanjaro. You're not going to want to miss Nadine. She is terrific. So we're going to do that today. We're going to head out to Las Vegas and find out how that city is faring with this pandemic. I have to tell you about this. You're going to meet this flight attendant, a New York-based flight attendant, Stella. She is so terrific. Wait till you hear from her. Which reminds me, the airline business is something that we cover quite a bit here on this program, because for obvious reasons, also the cruise industry and lodging as well. But it is earnings season for the commercial carriers, and so we're seeing a lot more airline stories come out. That's why our airline analyst is here, Sal Esposito. We are Zooming with him. I want to bring you in real quick because, Sal, by the way, good to see you, my friend.
Erik, great to be here. Wish it was under better circumstances.
Well, that being said, the promise of tomorrow, the promise of travel tomorrow is still on the horizon, but how does this play out with the airline business? Are the airlines going to survive this crisis?
Well, I throw back to the old 60s song, they're going to get by with a little help from their friends, because without a lot of help from some friendly governments, I don't think we're going to see a lot of airlines survive this crisis, and it's already happening, obviously, in the United States.
Well, and this is not without precedent. The airlines have gotten money from governments before.
They have, and mostly the money that the airlines have been subsidized by governments before have been under times of national crisis, which this is. This one takes a little bit of a different format in that most of the money is coming from the U.S. government that are grants per se, are being passed through to keep employees on the payroll. But there are a lot of loans and a lot of different grants that have been given out to help shore up the airlines, help them shore up their capital position, so that they're around for the long term.
Well, at least in this country, let's clarify just a little bit. We think about the big three these days, which is United, American, Delta, but Southwest is certainly in that mix. But there's a difference between those guys and the capacity, and you could lump the low-cost carriers in, the Spirits of the world, the JetBlues of the world, the Frontiers. Are they going to survive? Are we going to see mergers here? What's it going to look like?
I think, I go back to my experience in the post-deregulation era, just in the early 1980s, where you're going to see a lot of different things happen. You're going to see mergers, you're going to see airlines disappear, and you're going to see airlines grow and expand. You're going to see a combination of all those things happen as we emerge from this crisis in the next few years.
Well, that leads me to ask, when we step on a plane for the next time, whether that's this summer, this fall, maybe we wait till next year, is it going to look and feel different?
Well, I think flying is going to be different post this crisis. And you see some of this being published now. Airlines are talking about personal safety in a much different way. I think it's Ed Bastian, the CEO of Delta Airlines, kind of threw this out, saying passengers are going to be much more concerned about their personal safety above and beyond the normal security regimen. How are you making me safe as I travel on board a flight? And obviously that's going to have a much larger health overtone than it has in the past.
Yeah. And of course, they're watching the science just like the rest of us are and taking the cues from the official sources. I mean, we're talking about big money changing hands and big losses. Didn't you say earlier something to the effect that we were talking before the show? Airline capacity is down 90%. Is that going to stay the same for a while?
Revenue passenger kilometers, as being tracked by IATA, who tracks global airline revenue, is down 90% year on year from this time last year. Their forecast, which initially was quite optimistic, now has been revised to be what I consider more realistic, mentions that it's only going to recover to about 50% of last year's level through the fourth quarter. Well, according to Ed Bastian, who's the CEO of Delta Airlines, he sees a future where personal safety is the paramount consideration for customers. And he feels that customers are willing to pay a premium price for premium service and personal security. I mean, in my life, those have been buzzwords for higher airfares.
Do you think that airfares are going to go up?
Well, Michael O'Leary, who runs Ryanair, they're probably the most famous and infamous airline, low-cost airline in the world right now.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry, Ryanair, isn't it the airline that flies upside down so that they can shake all the loose change out of your pockets?
They'll get whatever they can. At one time they wanted to charge for toilets. The government wouldn't have it. They're pretty astute at getting all the money they can out of people. But he's made some pretty bold statements saying that a maximum 66% load factor on aircraft means there will be no more low-cost carriers. It's not possible at a 60% load factor. And I tend to agree with him that cramming people on the planes is what allows airlines to make enough money to send that flight and bring it back. And if you can't fill that flight, you just have to charge everybody on board more money. And when you load on top of that, the extra provisions the airlines are taking to make sure the planes are clean and all the extra equipment they need, you're going to be paying more in the future.
And I know we were only supposed to ask 5 questions because it's our big 5 questions with an expert segment, but I do have another one. I'm sorry, all of us are seeing that, I think I filled up my gas tank for like a bag of peanuts yesterday. And doesn't the cost of jet fuel have something to do with these rates too?
It does when it goes up, but it doesn't when it goes down. The airlines have been pretty astute at covering their backs when the cost of jet fuel goes up. You see fuel surcharges, and for some reason we still see fuel surcharges now when jet fuel is pretty low.
Couldn't get that line item off the ticket yet. I haven't gotten around to that.
It's kind of interesting how they do that. And my personal prediction, and this is just a prognostication, is that you will see a personal safety surcharge of some kind. So while your airfare may remain low, you'll be looking for another surcharge on your ticket that will take it up a little bit higher than actually what you're spending.
Sounds good. Thank you for keeping track of all of this, my friend.
Great to see you, Eric. Good luck.
Good luck. I'm going to break. I'm not going to battle.
Good luck with that.
How much can happen here?
Stay safe.
Hi, I'm Erik the Travel Guy. Today, we're in the Azores, so that means turn up the volume. It's time for full screen fun. Let's go, people.
The Azores consist of 9 islands located just off the coast of Portugal in the Atlantic Ocean. When you visit, you'll experience sensory immersion from all the gorgeous colors of the scenery. I suggest you start your visit here on the island of São Miguel in the town of Punta Delgada.
Getting to the Azores is a lot easier than you might imagine. Now, you've got nonstop service from Toronto and from Boston on Azores Airlines, and then you've got nonstop seasonal service on Delta from New York, and you will fly right in here.
If you're already in Portugal, you can easily hop on tap from Lisbon or Porto.
Where you're going to stay on your next unforgettable Azores vacation is easy when you stay here. This is the Grand Hotel. Get ready to be impressed.
This luxurious property features gorgeous ocean views, spacious guest rooms and suite accommodations, delicious meals, and handcrafted cocktails. And it's perfectly situated just steps away from downtown. This is where I stayed, and I loved it. It's just one of the logistics my good friends at Azores Getaways can help you with. They'll also plan your itinerary, book your tours, and pick you up right from your hotel.
Here's something you may not know. The pineapple is a symbol of welcome, friendship, and hospitality. Kind of like being here in the Azores. Well, I suggest when you're here on the South Coast, take a tour of a pineapple plantation. Let's go.
Taking a tour of this pineapple plantation is just one of the unique experiences here. After my short tour and a pineapple product fashion show, I walked along the black sand beaches, took a tea factory tour, traversed windy and beautiful roads, drank purple tea, took nature walks, ate delicious food every day and night, took a plunge, and explored the town square. And the rumors are true, I had a lovely afternoon with a wheel of cheese. But listen, whatever you do, make sure you go a little off the beaten path for the king's view.
You know, you can spend a lot of time trying to put it into words. Oh, how do you say what this looks like? Well, my suggestion, just show up. You'll feel it.
Nature's beauty is on full display here almost year-round. I suggest a trip in the summer months where the air is warm, the sun is out, and the flowers are in full bloom.
I know, it's a lot. The unbelievable scenery, the Azorean culture, the people, the food. Well, I have a suggestion for you. First, watch this video again, of course. Then, go to Azores Getaways and let them handle every detail of your next unforgettable vacation here. I'm Erik the Travel Guy. That's what I got. Thank you for watching Beyond Your Backyard Now. Getting a little graphic there in the old quote. I like it. I dig that. That's awesome. But you know, that quote reminds me, we were talking about the airline industry with Sal, of course. That's an industry we paid very close attention to within the travel and tourism space, the cruises as well, the cruise companies, the lodging companies, because of course, these are the companies that help us get to these remarkable and unbelievable vacations. And again, we are certainly not tone deaf to the notion that right now it's becoming more and more difficult to think about going on a vacation when the money is tight. So that is certainly something that we will be thinking about and helping you with along the way. Speaking of along the way, Stella Connolly is here. She is a flight attendant with a major U.S. carrier. I'm really happy that she's here as we're talking about the airlines. And you can't talk about the airlines without talking about flight attendants. So Stella, nice to meet you and thank you for being here.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Oh my gosh, you have one of the greatest jobs in the whole world. You have one of the greatest careers in the whole world. I have a question about what you do. Why do you do what you do?
To get people to the places they need to get to.
Well, that's all well and good, but you have this wonderful Instagram and YouTube channel. Well, you don't have to put it all on the computer box. Why do you do that?
You know, actually, when I was researching to become a flight attendant, my mom's best friend was a flight attendant, and I was looking for like a career change. And she said, be a flight attendant. My best friend's a flight attendant. And I was like, what is it like to be a flight attendant? What is the day-to-day? What do they do like in the airplane? And where do they go when they land? And when I was doing this research, there wasn't any YouTuber flight attendants, Instagram flight attendants. There wasn't a lot of information out there. So I thought, you know, I'm going to put it out there so people know what it's really like. Because everybody thinks that we're this like glamorous, like beautiful life. Like, and it could be glamorous. It is sometimes.
You're glamorous. You have a glamorous life. I mean, come on.
But it is just a real job, and it's got its pros, its cons, and it's wonderful, but I just wanted to show people. So I mean, I show them when I wake up at like 3 a.m. to get ready for a 4 a.m. flight. Like, they're gonna see it. I wanted them to see that part of it. And then I also show them when I get to spend 48 hours in Milan shopping and eating pizza and drinking vino. Like, I'm show it all.
Well, it's interesting too, because if I did my research right, you've been with one of the big three for five years. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's really competitive. People don't realize how competitive it really is to get one of those coveted spots.
Yeah, it really is. I'm no shame here. I was rejected from 2 major airlines, and I didn't give up. I tried a 3rd time. I got picked up. I'm so happy with my airline. And I think when I graduated from my flight attendant school, the instructors said that the year that I applied to be a flight attendant, there was 150,000 applicants, and they selected 1,500 flight attendants that year. 1% chance of being hired that year.
That is crazy.
And it's the same across the board with all the airlines. It's such a low percentage of being selected. So I always tell people, don't give up. If you get, rejected from one airline, try another one. There's no shame. Just swallow your pride and try another one. And even try that airline again after, you're allowed to.
Prior to coronavirus, what was your day-to-day? What's your week-to-week? What's it like? You're based in New York, right? So that means you're also based here. You fly from here, or you were. We can get to that in a minute. But what's that like?
It's a lot of fun. I fly. Well, for me, I'm a low time flyer. So I don't fly a ton of hours a month. I fly about 1 trip a week. So most of the time I either have a 2-day trip or a 3-day trip. And, I live in the city, so I take, a car service to the airport. I've taken the subway before, but I always lose stuff or some I have some adventure that I don't want before a flight. So I take a car into JFK or LaGuardia are the 2 airports that I fly out of. And the hardest part of my job is getting to the airport. Once you're at the airport and you sign in, you're good. You're like, okay, I'm the airline's, the airline is in charge of me now. I just go where I'm told. I get shuttled here and there. But, and like on my YouTube channel, I show like those flights that I get to go to London and just, have afternoon tea. But then I also show those flights where I'm in like Kansas City and it's snowing. And I'm like, dang it, I forgot my jacket. And like now I can't leave the hotel. I've got to order like room service. There's a lot of in between, but for the most part, so many people wouldn't be applying for it if it wasn't the most amazing job. It really is. It still does have some glamour, but it's a little bit of work. But it's still, it's just, I wouldn't want to do anything else. It is literally, I can't even believe I was so lucky enough for my mom to tell me like, yeah, go apply, honey. My best friend's a flight attendant, go do it. And I was like, okay.
Moms are the best. What's the flight attendant community? And I certainly wouldn't ask you to speak on behalf of the entire community because it's a very large worldwide community, but at least in this country, what's your leadership telling you? And what are they saying that they're looking at the future? I mean, I know there are a lot of furloughed flight attendants and flight crews out there right now because, of course, demand has dropped by 90% in this country alone, which is essentially means we've abandoned the airlines while we are told we have to stay at home, but also we're concerned to fly. What's your leadership telling you? What's the temperature of the community?
I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I just know, like, yeah, just like general knowledge that, not a lot of people are flying. I even, most of my trips have been canceled. Well, all of my trips this month were canceled. So I haven't worked a flight. I haven't seen how empty everything is, but I think right now, honestly, none of us know. We're hoping for the best. We're hoping that once this blows over, that, people are going to be encouraged to fly again, to travel, to take their dream vacations that they've been putting off. But like, as of right now, like, we just don't know. Like, I was on one of my recent vlogs, I was telling people, like, I wake up every day and I check the news, and I'm just like hoping for like good news, like, hey, we found this happened, like, we can go outside. But honestly, right now, like, we just don't know. This is so uncharted territory, I think, for everybody.
And that leads me to my last question today. Do you think that people are going to get on longer trips or shorter trips when we come out of this crisis that we're in? What do you think?
I really hope that people go on these long haul trips. I mean, I really hope that we just, maybe this is like, oh, that trip that I've been putting off, my bucket list that I've been wanting to do forever. Like, I'm going to actually do it after all of this. So, I mean, I just recently went to Egypt. It was surreal. It was the most amazing experience I ever had in my life. Cruising down the Nile, actually seeing the pyramids in front of me was just like, it's amazing. I think travel is one of the most, like, the best gift that you can give to yourself. And I really hope that after this, like, everybody can just book those flights, fly, don't be afraid, and really just go do those things that you've been putting off, or like, oh, I'll get to it. No, go do it whenever you can. I mean, as soon as we're allowed to.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself, Stella. I'm loving this. And my concern, of course, for your own personal well-being, I'd like to know how many peanut butter M&Ms you've had, even though you haven't been on flights. You said you only have those on flight. Mike, I wonder if you've had a couple, because it kind of makes us feel a little more comfy. I wonder if you have.
No, I only buy peanut butter M&Ms on my long haul flights. It is okay, and this is the thing. After I eat my little meal that they give me, I will put on a movie, and then it was just my absolute favorite thing. They're always there in the seat back pocket. I just grab for them, and I eat my peanut butter M&Ms with my movie. And like, sometimes I'll get a king size bag. I'm not afraid to admit it.
King size bag. That's brilliant. Thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Stella is so cool. She's just got that infectious energy, and I just love that about her personality. Her YouTube is amazing as well, so go take a look at what she's doing. She's posting new videos all the time, and it reminds me, I love talking about aviation. I think one of the reasons I love talking about aviation is because, of course, aviation industry is made up of people, from the pilots to the flight attendants to the ground people to the ticket agents. I mean, these are, I don't know, they're just some really cool people, because, of course, the airline business is all about getting on an airplane. And look, when you get on an airplane, chances are you are going somewhere. And that, to me, that feeling of like, oh my gosh, we're on our way to this place, we've planned, that promise of that travel is somewhere in the future. I don't know if it's the distant future. I don't know if it's tomorrow. I don't know if it's on the horizon. That's certainly a personal choice. And I'm certainly sensitive to the notion that planning a vacation now, or certainly taking one, you're going to have to really redefine what that's going to be like, because of, well, probably some budgetary constraints. And so one of the places that we focus on a lot here is the Caribbean. And I'm not sure you may not be familiar with the Caribbean Journal. And if you're not, take a look at their website. They made this really cool video about a really special place in the Bahamas. So have a look. over there. Well, good enough. Hello, welcome back. Thank you for watching Beyond Your Backyard Now. I am Erik the Travel Guy. If you've never seen the program before, well, it's an entire show dedicated to helping you, especially on your next vacation that you simply can't afford to get wrong. Every week we go over the 10, 5, and 1. That's at least 10 destination ideas, 5 travel tips. We'll leave you with a final thought. And again, every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern on YouTube is when we drop a new episode. And I have a question. Which U.S. destination do you think saw more than 42.5 million visitors in 2019? The answer, of course, is none other than Sin City itself, Las Vegas, Nevada. And as you can imagine, Las Vegas is hurting just as much as other cities around the country and around the world for that matter. We had the mayor's comments from Las Vegas last week. Wow, that was a must-watch for Anderson Cooper. Fortunately for us, though, I thought I would get a little insight as to how things are going there. Al Mancini is here. He has been a reporter in Las Vegas since 2001. He is currently with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. And as we keep spinning in this direction, Al, it's good to talk to you, man. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Great to see a little bit of the East Coast.
How's it going out there? What's it like?
I mean, Las Vegas is an odd town because, you know, we are one industry, right? Hospitality.
Yep.
And a large portion of that being on the Strip. And, you know, the casinos are closed. They were ordered closed by the governor for 30 days. And people are out of work. And that's a lot of people who are out of work. And, you know, there's a lot of tipped employees in this town where tip makes a huge amount. So, you know, the first couple of weeks, you know, everybody's adjusting. They're trying to figure it out. Still had a little bit of money. But, you know, bartenders, it's a tough gig right now for bartenders, waiters, servers, people who are used to making money, blackjack dealers, people who are used to making tip money. Some of the resorts have come through with incredibly generous offers. They're keeping people on the payroll. You know, I mean, full disclosure, the Las Vegas Review-Journal where I worked is owned by the Adelson family. They also own Venetian Palazzo. So I don't want to sound like, you know, I'm being a little biased towards them, but they're keeping all their employees on payroll at the resorts over there. I think Wynn Las Vegas also keeping all their employees on payroll. So some people feel really, really lucky that they're in that situation. And those people, those of us who still have jobs, that still have paychecks, trying to go out, trying to do curbside pickup, trying to figure out ways, you know, friends doing online concerts, online entertainments, we pass the virtual tip jar. You know, there's a very small town mentality in Las Vegas when you get off the Strip, when you get into the neighborhoods. And the people that work in each industry are very close. We're a very tight-knit community. I happen to work among beverage and food people, right? So the bartenders, the waiters, and their goal is to help people. The ones who have jobs want to help those who don't have jobs.
You know, that's a really interesting point you talk about that community because, of course, for visitors like us, and of course we know that Las Vegas is powered by electricity, but we also know that it's also powered by people. Like without the people, it doesn't matter if the lights are on or not. And so subliminally, or certainly subconsciously, we know this, but to hear that sort of, Las Vegas is not that big of a town. I mean, it really is a community of people that care about each other, and their job is to serve others. And in the time of need, they're serving each other to the best of their abilities. That's a really cool thing.
Yeah, I've seen this town come together a few times. Of course, the October 1st shooting, some more personal things where I've seen people get injured or hurt, and the degree to which everybody from the celebrity chef to the bar back to the waiter to the dishwasher will volunteer their time. I mean, immediately, what can I do? How can I help?
I'm sure you share my thought that, you know, the day for travel is tomorrow. We're just not quite sure when tomorrow is going to happen. Like
Yeah.
nobody has any firm grasp on that.
Well, I've been trying to stay out of the politics on my social media feeds as to, you know, when we should open, things like that. But today I posed a question, you know, I mean, the totally unscientific poll. These are people that sign up for social media to read my, you know, my food reporting, right? And they're people in the industry. But I said, would you guys go to a casino if it opened today? Because there's a lot of talk. We need to open them. We need to open them. We need to open them. There's that, you know, I mean, you have that all around the country. Open the businesses. I said to my friends, would you go? Would you go and sit in a nightclub? Would you stand in a nightclub, shoulder to shoulder? Would you go in a pool? I mean, people complain about the germs in the pools the rest of the year. You know, would you be in those places? Do you want to pass casino chips back and forth around a table? I mean, that's, you know, everybody at the table is touching the same things. I think we're in for a very slow ramp up.
Yeah.
Not when we're allowed to reopen in this town. I think we'll follow the same path as other people. But when somebody wants to go to these massive events, we do things big in Las Vegas, and our economy is fueled by big events. It's quaint and cute to go to the neighborhood restaurant, and we have fantastic ones. Those guys, yeah, we'll be going back out to them as soon as they reopen. This hospitality town, people know sanitation, they know to wash their hands. Waiters are professional waiters. They're not actors who are waiting tables. Yeah, I think until we have a vaccine, then, we're not going to have the exact same Las Vegas that we used to have. We're not all going to crowd into these spaces to be near a lot of strangers. And, that's part of the fun of Las Vegas. But, I don't see a lot of people wanting to do that for a while. Yeah.
Al, thanks for doing this today. Thanks for chatting. Will you come back and give us an update on what's going on out there from time to time?
Anytime. Give me a call. Thanks.
Very well. Erin Sega is back with us again this week. If you missed last week's program, oh my gosh, her piece she did from the flight deck of a Boeing Dreamliner, thanks to our friends at Norwegian Airlines. It was so good. You have to watch it. Go back and watch the whole show or just watch that segment. All of this is on YouTube. Please, please go and do so, because this week it sounds like we're getting up in the air again, but in a very different way. Take a look.
On one of our recent trips to Scottsdale, Arizona, we had the pleasure of experiencing the grandeur of this majestic state from a slightly different vantage point. Hot Air Expeditions has been floating over the spectacular Sonoran Desert for over 28 years. And now it was our turn.
Oh yeah, we're going up.
Knowing the expectations ahead of time eased any trepidations and set us up for a great adventure in the sky. After a detailed description of safety standards, we were ready to take flight.
That's cool. How do you describe what people are going to feel when they're up there?
I was 15 years old when my dad put me in a balloon basket. And it didn't feel like, I was leaving the ground in a balloon. It felt like the earth was falling away from me. I was lit on fire immediately, just went, I want to do more of this.
When they fly for the first time, what are they most surprised by?
The calm and the serenity. I take people up every day and they think they're really going to be terrified of the heights. And about 5 minutes into it or less, they look at me and go, all right, I get it. It's no big deal.
Unbelievable.
We process tall building, suspension bridge, the roof line, and looking over, and it freaks us out.
Right.
In a balloon, you're not connected to the earth. Therefore, you have no relative sense of your real altitude.
Has it happened before? So you have to come back down?
It'd be a rare day that I'd actually have anyone so freaked out that we had to terminate the flight. More often than not, I'm able to give them instruction. I help them take over the aircraft and get their head out of their fear, and now they're doing something. I am responsible first and foremost to my passengers' safety. You aviate, navigate, communicate in that order.
And how high are we going?
Average flight at some point, gonna go about 1,000 feet above the ground, but not at all uncommon to go a mile or more. We have to get from a point A to an intended point B.
I love the word
where
intended,
I want to go,
right?
generally
Right.
speaking.
Got it.
But this is it's an inexact science, but it is truly a science. And the layers of air, as you climb at different altitudes, are stratified.
How long is that average flight?
We're aiming for roughly an hour of flight. We fly mornings here year-round.
Year-round. Is the landing a little bumpy sometimes?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm gonna let you know you're alive.
Makes it fun. Thank you, sir.
What a fantastic modern-day way to enjoy some of the very same vistas seen by people thousands of years ago. The panoramic views were not just spectacular, but awe-inspiring.
Once again, Erin Sega, that piece was amazing. I love the hot air ballooning to begin with. I mean, I had such a good time. As a matter of fact, the first time we went hot air ballooning out in Scottsdale, Arizona, I think we have some video of it. Yes, There we go. Old video, young guy right there in Scottsdale, Arizona. Oh my gosh, absolutely breathtaking. If you haven't done it, please, please, please do so. Get it on your list of things to do. You absolutely will love it. Even if you're a little scared of heights, it's no big deal. We made an entire episode in Scottsdale, incidentally, in our second season of Beyond Your Backyard, which is also available on YouTube, so check that out as well. We're headed off to Mount Kilimanjaro, and Western Canada, all in the same segment. Yes, I will tell you how it all fits together next, as soon as I'm done doing some fake writing down here. Stay with us. Beyond Your Backyard now marches on for April 27th, 2020. There's our poll question for the week. Would you go to a public beach in the month of May? That's yes, no, or we're just going to wait and see. Be sure to vote on that particular poll on our website at beyondyourbackyardnow.com or our YouTube channel. And speaking of which, it's as if we planned it. Nadine Sykora is here. She is one of the top vloggers on YouTube. You're going to love what she has to say. Over the years, she's written, produced, and created some of the most influential content for some of the biggest brands in travel. So whether you're just starting out or a seasoned globetrotter, she's got hacks, she's got advice, she's got inspiration. She's terrific. Nadine, it is so nice to meet you.
Oh, it's nice to meet you too. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And congratulations are in order. I thought we would get that right off the bat. You just got engaged, is that right?
I did. Yes, I did. I got engaged on top of Mount Kilimanjaro.
Well, I read that. I was like, of course, she can't just do, but this has more to do with him than you, right? Did he plan this entire situation?
Yes. Well, I mean, we decided to go up Kilimanjaro several months ago, and
as you do,
as one does. And he thought it was the most amazing spot, and I agree. It's a pretty good spot.
So that's awesome. Let me ask you this. Why do you keep doing it? Because if I read it correctly, you graduated from school, I think somewhere around 2009 or something. And as far as I understand, you decided, you know, I haven't really done a whole lot of traveling. Let me do a little.
That New Zealand has to offer.
All right, now I have some questions about this because once again, first of all, what like Lord of the Rings, like what why New Zealand?
Lord of the Rings.
No way.
No, legit, Lord of the Rings. It was
This is not in my material. I just was like, 2009. That sounds about right. It is stunningly gorgeous. Thanks to Peter Jackson, we all know. We're like, oh, we got to go see that. Okay, so Lord of the Rings it is. And what you just said was, I wanted to put this on video because I wanted everyone to see what I was seeing. Isn't that exactly what you do still today?
Yes. So here's the thing about travel vlogging.
All right.
People connect to other people. People enjoy personalities. They enjoy seeing other people's reactions and hearing them and seeing their struggles and seeing their adventures.
We are in April. We're in sort of uncharted waters here. It's been real fun hanging out at the house. Here we are, still here. What advice are you giving now? And I'm going to give the proviso when it's safe to do so. Help us out a little bit with maybe we're going to scale back some of these trips. Certainly, I know you and I are fans of taking bucket list trips that for some people and a good portion of people they will never take. And that's one category of travel. For you personally, and for what advice would you give to somebody say, you know what, I want to include travel more this year. I want to stay closer to home. Where would you tell them to go?
Well, you kind of already said it. Stay close to home. I think something that you're going to see a lot in 2020 as we transition our way out of this and it's safe to travel is that the border situation is going to be really tricky. international travel is going to be slower to kind of come back than local domestic travel. And I understand we're all cooped up at home right now. Hopefully we'll get at least a little bit of a summer and we're going to want to go out and do something. Well, I'm in North America. I'm in Canada, North America as well. So go and explore a backyard. Like, take the car and go on a road trip somewhere. Go see something that you've never seen in your own province or your own state. I guarantee you there's something amazing that you can see. And those local businesses will need your support. They will appreciate your support. The parks and then all our national parks and provincial parks and regional parks and state parks, they're all still there. They will eventually open up and they're going to be gorgeous and amazing because the virus, it doesn't really affect them.
Right.
Nothing's changed in the parks. So go see some beautiful nature. There's a lot of things that you can do locally and that's not going to cost you a lot of money, because I know we're all going to be struggling once this does come back up to want to travel, but might not necessarily have the means to travel because, well, we've been trying to save and pay our bills during this time while possibly not working. Some of my favorite trips around North America are, well, in California, PCH, the Pacific Coast. I love that one. Anything on the coast is always going to be gorgeous. So you can do West Coast, you can do the East Coast, you can do East Coast of Canada, West Coast of Canada. Any coast is going to be gorgeous no matter what, because you have ocean and you have all those stunning cliffs and stunning scenery. Now,
I'm telling you, here's one of the things I really appreciate. The person that we saw on your YouTube channel is the same person that arrived here today. And I really appreciate that. That says a lot about what you're truly trying to accomplish and what you are accomplishing successfully thus far. And I really appreciate that. I know the viewers do as well. So thank you for doing this. Thank you for the tips and thank you for being here.
of course. Thanks for having me.
Yes, your virtual ray of sunshine in a proverbial sea of darkness. Erik the Travel Guy with you. Thank you for watching as the show rolls on. I'm incredibly excited to introduce our next guest, which means we get to run this graphic. And I need to take a second here because we are spanning the United States. We're covering US A to Z. When we get to Z, we're going to start over again. So let's roll that graphic that Randy loves so very much. Here we go. As you can see, it's all about Wyoming. That's why Jessica Sedars and Christen Burdette join us from the Campbell County Convention and Visitors Bureau and Main Street Gillette. They are Zooming from the great state of Wyoming. Ladies, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
And look at you two. You look like you're living your best lives under the circumstances. Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So, all right. So we need to talk about, first of all, where are you? You're in Gillette, right?
Correct.
Help us out a little bit with, first of all, Campbell County, if I have that right. What's it feel like? When I step off that plane, what do people tell you it feels like?
Well, depending on the day, it could feel a little windy. But most of the time, what you experience is fresh air. It is just the cleanest, freshest air you'll have ever experienced.
What is it that they're looking to get out of that Gillette, out of that Wyoming vacation? What are they looking for?
I think a lot of our visitors come because they want the Western experience. When they think of Wyoming, they think of the West, and rightly so. So they come out and to experience the wide open spaces, to see our coal mines that, we're the energy capital of the nation. So people come to see that. Also, the Durham Buffalo Ranch that we bring people to tour. There's nothing like it in the world.
Yeah. Isn't it so funny? You get, even to get close to them, people, they walk away going, oh my gosh, I had no idea they were that big. They're huge.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to talk a little bit time of year too, because, I need practical, tactical advice. We need to talk peak season, shoulder season, whatever it is. How do you guys break that out?
Well, generally speaking, I would say end of school to beginning of school is probably our peak season. We do get a lot of snow, and we also have the wind, but I mean, just the summers out here are absolutely amazing. So, and since we're an hour from Devil's Tower and about 5.5 hours from Yellowstone, Gillette is the perfect stopover point to kind of take a break from the car, see what we've got, check out our town, and then continue on your way as you're doing that amazing family vacation.
Oh, I love that. What a great, talk about, if we were to do a road trip, what an amazing road trip that would be.
Yeah, and really by car is the best way to do it, because the landscape that you'll experience is incredible. And the way it changes, you know, so drastically and dramatically in a short area, you really do want to drive it.
How about duration? What would you recommend someone thinking right now going, you know what, we're going in the fall, how long should we stay? What would you recommend for, especially for a first time?
Well, that's really funny because my mom, we always joke that when people come out to visit here, my mom can show them all of Wyoming in 2 days. Now, maybe from the car being, oh, there's Devil's Tower, you know, but I think that if you really want to see it and experience it, I would give yourself at least a week, if not 2, because there's so much to see and do.
Come on, in the state, you're talking 2 weeks in one state?
Absolutely.
You can spend 1 week alone just in Yellowstone. I mean, there's so much to see and drive around in. It's huge. So there's 1 week of it for you.
That's right.
I'm really glad you mentioned that too, because once again, much like the state of, I would say, off the top of my head, we know the usual suspects of Alaska and Texas and California. Much past those 3, I'm not real sure we're all that up on the square footage here. And you go to places like Arizona and you realize it's the 6th largest state in the United States. There's a lot of area out there. There's a lot to see. You talk about the fresh air, but how do people describe what they see and what they feel when they're there? How do they describe it to you guys?
I guess free, open. You know, we talk a lot about wide open spaces, sunsets and sunrises like you've never seen.
What am I doing while I'm there? Before I do anything else, I'm doing these 3. What do you suggest, especially if I'm with my significant other, with my children? What do you think right off the top?
Well, the first thing you have to do is come to the visitor center so we can tell you where to go.
These shameless self-promotion while quarantining. I love it. Yes,
well,
of course you do.
But we have that leaves from our visitor center, we have coal mine tours. So we can actually take a group out to one of the local coal mines and you can see the big equipment, how they're doing it, how they repurpose everything. And I mean, you will drive over land that looks gorgeous and you'll be like, yeah, they actually used to mine here. And you could never tell because they have to leave it better than how they found it. So, I mean, it's not just a shameless plug. It's a lot of fun.
Well, you know, I have to give you that because, well, listen, you don't know me, but that's okay. We'll fix that today, you know. But the reality of it is I'm always shocked at how people are like, I don't really know what to do. I don't really know. And I'm like, well, first of all, did you go to the CVB's website? I don't know what a CVB is. Okay, we'll go there. And then we get through that. And then when you get there, because we know how much you love the idea of doing research on where you're going, but then you don't actually do a whole lot of it. Yes. When you get there, you can go to the visitor center. I don't know what that is. Okay. Again, it's like, this is step 1, step 2. So I am with you 100%, Christen. I am absolutely. You show up because things change, you know, weeks change, months change, things go in and out, you know, the visitor center knows, oh, that's open, that's closed because they're doing some renovation this week. You know, they know that's where the bones are buried. I love that. All right. So I'm going on a coal mine tour. Love that. What else am I doing?
I think we need to send them to Wright to do a buffalo tour as well.
Absolutely.
Durham Buffalo Ranch is down in Wright, and they are a working ranch. So they will actually show you how they take care of the bison. Then they will walk you through their entire process, but they will actually drive you out into the middle of the herd. So you get surrounded by 2,500 buffalo.
Oh
and John is amazing. John Flocchini owns the ranch, and he is fantastic, and he keeps you very safe. But, I mean, you are literally immersed and surrounded by buffalo, and you can't get much more Wild West than that. It's
no. And there's a chance that I could wear chaps. There's a chance.
There is. Absolutely. You can wear whatever you would like.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. And number 3, what else? Just off the top of your head. I don't put you on the spot, but whatever. We're all friends now. So we're going on a coal mine tour. We're doing Buffalo. What else?
Auto museum. We have an auto museum here that was opened 4 years ago, and it started from a private collection a gentleman here has, and they keep expanding and expanding, and they just are getting ready to expand again, and it's unlike any collection you've ever seen.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't see that coming. That's cool. Well, again, this sounds like it's going to be a magical trip. I love it.
And then, of course, you have to come downtown and visit our unique boutiques and shops and restaurants. And we have so many sweet shops down here to experience as well. We have so many events that go on, community events that go on through, especially starting May through December, that pretty much if you're here anytime during those months, you're going to catch an event, a community event of some sort. And you really have to come see and experience a Campbell County community-wide event. It's pretty spectacular.
I love it. I love it. All right, what's the website again before I forget?
Visit GilletteWright.com.
All right.
And Wright is WRIGHT.
Sounds good to me. Ladies, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Man, I am telling you, hanging out in those wide open spaces, doesn't that sound appealing? Absolutely. Speaking of which, this particular week, I was really moved by the fact that a friend of mine out in California said, you can't come out and visit, so I decided to take a little walk around my neighborhood, and in California that means drive, but she decided to make a little video about her hometown. Really cool. I thought you should see it. Take a look.
Hey, travel guy. We know you can't make it out to sunny SoCal right now, so thought we'd show you around our little town of Redlands so we can entice you one day to make a trip out here. All right, let's go. So that's our little town of Redlands. We hope you enjoyed the tour. We've got oranges, mountains, palm trees. It's quite pretty. So when we're no longer on lockdown, out of quarantine, we hope you come and take a look. See you soon.
Wow. That is so cool. Thank you, Richella, for that. Thank you, Clayton. Thank you, girls, for participating. That was an awesome postcard from your hometown, Redlands, California. I've never been there, just outside of Los Angeles, and that's just really cool. And that does remind me that a theme that we've been talking about this week is how are you going to include travel in the future on perhaps a limited budget? The economic impact of this crisis is real, and it's certainly hitting all of our bottom lines. So my question to you, which leads me to my thought of the week, which is, okay, let's have those conversations with the ones we travel with and say, how are we going to do this in a different way? How are we going to travel with perhaps a limited budget? I would encourage you to begin to have those conversations this week and in the coming weeks, because travel, as we have said before, is an excellent way to help restart the economy. But that's easier said than done when you're working with a limited budget. All right, let's get to the 10-5-1 here. Wow, we have been to a lot of places this week. Las Vegas, the Azores, Scottsdale, Bahamas, Redlands, Wyoming, New Zealand, Mount Kilimanjaro, the Pacific Coast Highway, the Dominican Republic, and of course you see the travel tips as well. As you know, that's something that we promise every week here on Beyond Your Backyard. At least 10 destinations we'll cover, we'll talk about, at least 5 travel tips, and one thought of the week, which we just discussed moments ago, which leads us to the question of the week, where it's really a poll. Would you go to a public beach in May? Yes, no, or wait and see. Make sure to make those comments on our YouTube channel. Everyone that makes a comment on our YouTube channel this week also gets registered to win that $250 gift card to restaurant.com. And congratulations, by the way, to Brent B., who said some very nice things on our YouTube channel this week. You ought to go take a look and see what he said. He was commenting on Beyond Your Backyard. He had some other questions. He had some other comments. So you, my friend, just picked yourself up a $250 gift card to restaurant.com. All right, that's all the time we have this week. My thanks to the travel team. You guys, once again, a phenomenal job putting this week's show together. My guests, Stella, Al, Christen, Jessica, Nadine, Rochella, and of course, you for watching. We'll do it again next week. Thank you very much for being here. Put down the Lysol wipes. Don't be sucking on those now. Take it easy, Louise. Hey guys, this channel is a celebration of all things travel, so hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment or question, share this video, like it, rate it, whatever. Believe me, it all helps. Thanks for watching.